Top of the morning to you, and happy belated St. Patrick's Day to everybody. I hope everybody had a safe time this past Tuesday. It is my favorite Friday, and this week I decided I'm going to bring you some of my favorite beer-themed minor league hats that are out there. There's a few of them, and spoiler alert, they're all awesome. So let's get right back into it. I used to work for a semi-pro team, so I know that a lot of the merchandising that goes on for these teams are all about bringing fans in and giving them a reason to be excited, wear the merchandise around town. So that gives them a reason to be a little more outlandish and go a little bit crazier, and that's what I love about some of these hats. So minor league baseball hats are becoming some of my favorite hats out there. And these ones, if you're going to combine that with beer, I mean, I'm listening. First up, we have the Salem Red Sox, otherwise known as the Beer Mongers for this hat. What I love most about this is the color composition. It is a little bit wilder, so I don't know if I would like this as much if it was a major league type hat. It is a little bit different because it has the dark blue front panels with a lighter blue back panels. This kind of has a Tennessee Titans type color scheme, and I think it works for this hat. What I really like about that composition, it has the light blue eyelets on there, which I think it's an underused part of a cap that can really bring a little more of a pop to it. Like, it seems like minor league baseball's really figured that out as a really interesting design scheme. So I really like that they're doing that here. And I mean, it works. It's not too crazy. It's different. It's something, it's something you're not really going to see on a ton of hats, this particular color juxtaposition, but I think it works for them. And I think the logo is really cool too. It is a beer bottle dressed as a soda jerk with a bow tie and an apron, holding another beer bottle and a baseball bat in the other hand. That's an awesome logo. I mean, I just describing it sounds really cool. Whether or not you see it, it's a really cool hat. Next up, we have the Carolina Mudcats. Now, this is a minor league team of the Milwaukee Brewers. So in order to kind of, I guess, pay homage to that, or at least recognize that, they do decide to play sometimes as the Carolina Microbrews. They adopt a classic color scheme of the Milwaukee Brewers, a lighter blue with a yellow, and they have a little bit of a different MB logo that they play with on these hats. There's a few different versions of these hats with different logos to them. Sometimes they will put that inside a barrel, which I think looks pretty cool, and sometimes that will appear on their hats. I think that they adopt this on field pretty frequently, so I think it's one of those things like every year they come out with a little bit different version of it. And I think if you're from Carolina, if you're a fan of that, if you're just a fan of beer, I think these are one of the ones you got to pick up. This might be my favorite of the beer-themed ones. It is the Western Michigan Whitecaps, which will sometimes play as the Beer City Bunghammers. Okay, it is just a truly awesome. This is just a truly awesome hat. It's got to be one that I'm probably going to have to add to my collection here. If I can describe the logo to you, it is a pint glass of beer that is hammering a bung into a barrel of beer. So they are the Bung Hammers, and it's a pretty literal logo. Again, I think a lot of like the beer mongers, I think what I like is the juxtaposition of different colors on them. And it kind of has like a bronze color brim to it that I think is supposed to be more like the staves of a barrel than truly orange, because orange is not a typical part of their color scheme. It is a black cap, a black crown with white front panels and kind of this bronzy burnt orange brim to it with that same color beanie on the top. And then the logo really just pops off of those front white panels there, so it looks really cool. I think it's a very clean look. It almost reminds me a little bit of the current Baltimore Orioles caps. It's just an awesome looking hat. There's not much I can say other than that. It really looks cool. This might be one that I have to add to my collection here. It is from 2019, so I don't know if they're going to re-adopt it for this year, and you might have a different style or maybe like a little bit different logo. Even if you just kept that pint glass guy there and you took the barrel part out of that logo, I think it would still look really cool. Overall, this is just genius. This is a genius hat. And then the last of our beer-themed hats, we have the Hillsboro Hops. So this is one of those teams that is not playing as an alternate name. This is their standard name. They have a lot of different types of this, so this is not particularly one style of hat. Their main logo is a hop with a baseball hat on. Now, they do have a standard H logo that they also use that you can grab too, so you still have that theme of beer because they are always the hops. Otherwise, it's a standard navy blue hat because, again, they're trying to be on field, they're trying to be standard, so it's a little more classic of that style, but there are other iterations of this, and I think that there will be more of them as it goes into the future. There's all different kinds, so look around, shop around, see if there's one that you kind of like a little bit better than the others, but overall, they're named the Hops, and that's cool. There is a recent trend in minor league baseball of having hats that have to do with different types of let's say, stadium food or different types of junk food. The Charleston River Dogs will sometimes play as the boiled peanuts, which is, I guess maybe they're running out of them. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea where this came about. Who in this franchise was like, hey, let's be the boiled peanuts. I legit love this hat. It's a cool color scheme to it. It is a primarily dark green crown, white front panels. They don't do anything crazy with the eyelets, which I kind of wish that they did. Especially the front too, because it's white on the eyelets on the front too. I kind of wish they went with green, to be honest with you. That was the only thing I'd really change about this hat. But it does have a peanut colored and textured looking brim to it, which I think really makes this hat unique. I've never seen anything like that on the brim of a hat, which is really cool. And it keeps that same color consistently through onto the beanie. And again, a lot like the other hats that we've talked about, keeping that color scheme consistent has been really cool. The logo itself is pretty interesting. You got a peanut that's having a good time being boiled in there, and I don't know what else is. It looks like marshmallows. I don't know what else is in there, but he's keeping the lid of the pot on his head, and he's got a baseball bat. So I mean, if you're gonna hang out, you might as well have a. I guess they really just wanted to make sure that people understood this was a baseball logo and not something else, because otherwise, why would you think this has anything to do with baseball? So this logo might stick around. I don't know. This seems pretty popular to me. It's almost sold out in a lot of sizes here, so I might have to grab one if I really do want to get one. But this is pretty cool. And then finally, we have the Rocky Mountain Vibes, and in particular, their flaming s'mores mascot. And this is really cool. Anytime mascots can show up on hats, I think it's a win for minor league baseball, especially. You're seeing it a little bit with the Reading Fightin' Phils. Again, this is a more official on-field hat, so this is not an alternate or a novelty type of thing. This is their every game type of hat. Logo is big, it's bold, it stands out. This is a cool logo. This is a cool mascot. I don't know his name. If you know his name, let me know down in the comments. I don't know the name of this character. I did see a video where a kid made his own version of this costume, and the real guy came out and saw him and interacted with him, and it was really cool. I love that kind of stuff. That's what makes minor league baseball, and that's what makes all types of baseball really cool, is you get that interaction with fans, especially little kids, because it is a kid's game. So it's really fun when teams are able to bring that vibe back into it. This is a cool hat that my sister got me when she went to Northern Ireland a few years ago. I don't know where exactly she got it. I have no idea why there's a number 3 on it. Overall, it's a pretty comfortable hat. It has no structure to it whatsoever, but it just kind of sits on your head a little bit. I kind of don't notice that it's on, so it's really light, so that's kind of a benefit to these types of hats, but it's kind of cool. I am Scott. This has been My Favorite Friday, and I will catch you next time.